Those who have never been to a grouse or woodcock trial frequently have curious notions as to what they are like. Many field trialers who read the American Field are aware of grouse trials, but many believe that grouse dogs are little brush-busting dogs who range not much further than flushing dogs. On the other hand, every year, bird hunters who have never been to a trial before will show up at a grouse trial. In many cases, they are disappointed. The dogs run too fast and range too far. Just another field trial for crazy running dogs, they say. For the fan of the cover circuit, however, the grouse trial is as good as it gets. He doesn't have to own and haul horses to compete, doesn't have to be a millionaire, and a knowledgeable amateur can compete on equal terms with a pro. You just need to like a dog that loves to hunt and point birds and does it with style and enthusiasm. When the days begin to get short and a chilly breeze rustles the leaves, the thoughts of many turn to shotguns, dogs, and thundering wings. Not a few people believe that the fall hunting season is the highlight of the year.
Yep.
Gardner Bump, in the preface to his classic study on the ruffed grouse, wrote in 1942, 2¼ centuries have passed since the first law protecting grouse was enacted in the colony of New York. Since then, 1,000,000 men, gun in hand, heart in the highlands and the swish of leaves in their faces, have roamed woods, roads, and forest glades, hunting partridge and finding zest in life. For many, the pleasure of a fall day afield is greatly enhanced by a good dog. It was for this purpose of improving both the productivity and the overall experience of the hunt that is behind field trials. Field trials on grouse and woodcock not only test a dog's skills on wild birds, but require as well that a dog be well trained, work the course with animation and intelligence, and exhibit style both running and on point.
Woodcock right here.
Here it goes, coming over. Still going.
There are increasing numbers of sportsmen and women who truly appreciate the dog who not only does the job, but does it with style and enthusiasm. It is the well-bred, well-trained pointing dog matching wits with a wily wild bird that is at the heart of grouse and woodcock trials. Grouse trialers are fortunate to have two such wonderful birds to pursue. He has been called partridge, mountain pheasant, white flesher, fool hen, but whatever the name, the ruffed grouse is one of the most popular and challenging of upland species. The dog able to point a grouse masterfully enjoys a fine reputation in the bird dog world. The woodcock is totally unrelated to the grouse, but shares some of the same habitat. The woodcock is a wonderful little bird that usually sits well for the point. It is the only game bird upon which trials are conducted that is migratory in nature. For all practical purposes, neither grouse or the woodcock have been successfully pen-raised and released in any quantity. They are indeed wild birds. There is no doubt that the vast majority of field trials in this country are run on pen-reared, hand-planted game. There is also no doubt that these trials are great fun and that a lot of very good dogs compete in them. There are advantages to these types of trials as well. The same course can be used over and over, thus requiring less land. No dog will have the advantage of being drawn on a better course than others. Every dog will appear on the same course, and every dog will have an opportunity to show on game. Yet to the wild bird enthusiast who thrills to the thundering escape of the grouse or the whistling wings of a woodcock, these planted birds seem a poor substitute. Moreover, dogs cannot truly display bird sense compared to dogs which point wild game. There is just something that doesn't ring true with birds that needed to be prodded and chased to make them fly.
Pennsylvania Championship. Dog on your left is Ozzy, Dave Hughes. Dog on your right, RJ's Edition, Legendary. This course is a little bit different from last year.
You gentlemen, get ready.
All right.
Grouse and woodcock trials are sometimes called cover trials. because the habitat of these birds tends to be second growth and transitional forest, which is frequently quite dense. The actual type of cover varies from region to region and venue to venue. The cover at this venue in Pennsylvania is patchy cover, mostly conifer and beech. There are 14 one-hour courses here, but only 8 will be used for this championship. The damp, brushy edges necessary for woodcock are missing here. This is a grouse trial exclusively. Let's watch and listen. As you have noticed, grouse trials are walking trials. Handlers and scouts are on foot, while the judges are mounted. Because the handlers are walking, the dogs must check in now and then and adjust to the pace of the handler. As long as the dogs check in, they can be surprisingly rangy in their search for game. Virtually every dog will wear a bell also. This enables the handler to keep track of the dog in cover.
Lake States Championship in your judicial saddles, hailing from the great state of Wisconsin, Roger King, and our own Michigander, Scott Kinney. Our reporter is our own a version of Hurricane Mitch Stakeman. We'll have front and back marshals. The gallery is allowed to go in and take a look at a point. The judges do request that you keep the noise down. In the first brace, on your right, Oneida with Dave Hughes, and on your left, runner-up champion Ghost Train Bell with Mr. Frucci. Good luck, gentlemen.
Dogs on the circuit must adjust to different types of terrain. The best dogs are the ones who prove they can win anywhere. Here at the famous grounds in Michigan, there are a lot more aspen stands, and there are woodcock here too, though the rules of this championship state that acceptable work on grouse is necessary for a dog to win. At cover trials, judges use the spotting system. That is, they carefully watch all of the dogs perform, interpret the performance, and then decide which ones are the best. Dogs must drive hard and go to the cover that is likely to contain birds, for those things in tandem are displays of a dog's desire. Dogs must range, but should handle and stay forward. Dogs must exhibit style, both running and on point. Style makes the dogs aesthetically appealing, but there is a functional aspect to style too. Style tells a judge that a dog took to the training without excess pressure. Dogs that are intimidated display poor style running and sag or drop on point. Here in New Hampshire, the cover is different still, and thicker yet. The two dogs here are past winners of the Grand National Grouse Championship. There are 7 one-hour courses here, and these courses have produced birds in good numbers in recent years. Mostly grouse, but some woodcock too. In this trial, a dog can point either grouse or woodcock to win. As you can see, the judges here are on foot as well as the handlers. There are several venues where the nature of the terrain is not conducive to horses. As you can see, there is not a lot of handling here. Excessive yelling is frowned upon. You will notice also that you do not see much of the dogs either. The handlers merely listen for the distant bells and walk. Dogs are expected to stay forward and cross the path rather than running up and down on it. Range depends upon the terrain, but by and large these spirited dogs will range much further than the average hunter will be comfortable with. This is because field trialers realized long ago that range can be diminished using proven methods. Techniques to get a dog to range further than he is inclined to, however, have been profoundly unsuccessful. Judges watch to make certain that a dog is hunting and not just running. Many of grouse trials performers will range to horseback shooting dog standards if given the opportunity. Several of grouse trials' most notable performers have even won horseback shooting dog titles as well. Grouse Ridge John, a setter dog who won the Pennsylvania Championship in 1965, sired 2 Hall of Fame horseback shooting dogs. The primary range of the grouse is across the northern tier, particularly in the northeast and in the mountainous areas of the southeast. There are now grouse trials throughout much of the bird's range. There are now 14 cover championships, including venues in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ontario, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Maine, and 2 in New Brunswick. The first cover championship took place in Pennsylvania in 1913. By 1927, there were championships in Michigan and New England as well. Lee White's farm in Scotland, Connecticut also had wild pheasants and quail. The grouse trial community came together in 1943 to form the Grand National Grouse Championship. It is the circuit's brightest jewel, and its venues alternate yearly. The Grand National also sponsors and conducts a grouse futurity for young dogs. Birds are not shot at grouse trials. Only blank guns are used. Like Gladwin and Marionville, hunting is closed on the grounds to maximize bird populations. Though the grouse trial circuit is dominated by setters and pointers, German shorthairs, red setters, Gordon setters, and Brittany's have also competed. Only Brittany's, however, have placed in major competition. In many cases, the absence of a tail leaves most of these breeds at a disadvantage when it comes to interpreting style. Cover trialers can take special pride in noting that of the many dogs named to grouse and woodcock champion status since 1913, none have ever been named champion or runner-up without pointing a wild bird. Field trials are as much about people as they are about dogs. They are truly social events where people of a like mind come together from across the country, form friendships, rivalries, and talk about dogs, performances, and judging decisions. Ultimately, the field trial is about good memories of good dogs and good people. Training grouse dogs mean a lot of hours of walking, frequently in rough terrain, and you can't pull a woodcock out of a recall pen. Moreover, the grouse shares the woods with a lot of other creatures. One of the more notorious is the porcupine, which is present throughout much of the range of the grouse. Not exactly the loveliest of God's creatures, these animals frequently are found on the ground, and with their unique coat of quills, they have little fear of anything. They are slow or are frequently not inclined to move at all. In grouse trials, a bell will stop, a judge will dismount, excitement will build as the search takes place for a dog on point. Occasionally, however, the only game seen in front of the dog is this walking pincushion. While it is desirable for dogs to ignore porcupines completely, dogs that point them are not faulted, unless they do so repeatedly or give some indication that they are hunting porcupines or other off game instead of birds. Of course, dogs that neither point porkies and also do not ignore them are in for a lot of pain. Those quills are barbed and quite painful when removed. There is a lot of game in the woods, and dogs frequently point rabbits, turtles, and snakes, among other things. This pup here is pointing but not sure. He's going to jump in here and root out the bird. It's a game bird, too. A wood duck. Turkeys sometimes get pointed in trials, too. That one was on a nest. And you probably never thought of using a pointing dog to hunt deer. But you could have used one here. For the tried and true fans of grouse and woodcock trials, all the miles afoot, all the checkboard work, and the monotonous repetition are worth it. For when the breeze is right and the birds are moving and the dog is good, it all comes together. Dog versus wild bird and their intense standoff. Cover trials are all about moments like these.
Boy, might have got that one, huh?
Oh, we already got that.
Perhaps the most exciting event at a grass trail is the so-called out on the limb find, when a dog doesn't return from a big cast and a scout is dispatched. Minutes passed, and then the cry of "point" comes from the distance. The judge dismounts, and in we go. This dog was about 175 yards into the swamp. She is pointing stylishly and looking to her left. Wisely, the handler swings out in that direction. And that is what it's all about. An honest dog who went and found a bird and did it with style. When a dog does it right, there's just nothing more beautiful.